Prince William's impassioned plea for fighting to end in the Israel-Hamas war shows he refuses to hide behind the mantle of royalty, a royal expert has claimed. Today, the Prince of Wales called for the conflict to end as soon as possible, ahead of carrying out visits to recognize the human suffering caused by conflict in the Middle East and the global rise in anti-Semitism. The future king said he was deeply concerned about the terrible human cost since the Hamas terror attack, and said there was a desperate need for increased humanitarian support for Gaza. He also added, "Even in the darkest hour, we must not succumb to the counsel of despair. I continue to cling to the hope that a brighter future can be found, and I refuse to give up on that." William then visited the British Red Cross headquarters where he chatted to workers providing humanitarian assistance and heard about the humanitarian efforts taking place to support those affected by the conflict in the region. A palace source said, during the engagement, he said he was deeply moved as a father. Royal expert Ingrid Seward says today's statement is most unusual when it comes to royalty, but it shows William's vision as Prince of Wales and how he is a force to be reckoned with. She told the Mirror, "William obviously feels passionate about the effects of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Although this is not the first time he has spoken out with such feeling, it is his strongest declaration yet." Last October, Kensington Palace released a carefully worded statement on behalf of both the Prince and Princess of Wales, expressing their distress at the horrific events. Since then, William has been following events on a daily basis and seen the horrors that many innocent young families on both sides of the conflict have had to endure. But by dint of his position as Prince of Wales, William cannot make his political views public. But he can make subtle hints as to exactly how strongly he feels. Releasing such a pointedly worded statement today is most unusual and illustrates just how desperate William feels. It certainly reminds us William is a force to be reckoned with. He refuses to hide behind the mantle of his royalty. There are things he wants to do and needs to say. After William's statement was released, it emerged the government was briefed via the FCDO on both his words and the engagements today and more that will follow next week. Ingrid, the editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine, added that William will know he can't enter the political arena, but says he can tiptoe around the outside enough to make an impact. She explained, in 2018 he traveled to the Holy Land on a sensitive 4-day trip to Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. He also saw his great-grandmother, Princess Alice's final resting place on the Mount of Olives. Alice was Prince Philip's mum, Lord Louis Mountbatten of Burma's sister and a devout nun. Anything to do with family is important to William, especially the plight of the very young involved in a horrific conflict through no fault of their own. Today he has met with charities providing the all-important humanitarian support and learn about the difficult conditions faced by them on the ground. Another day he will join a synagogue discussion with young people from different communities who are advocates against hatred and anti-Semitism. William is seeing both sides of the coin. That is his vision as Prince of Wales, and he is doing a pretty good job of it. In return, I hope he gets the recognition and admiration he deserves for taking on such a sensitive subject.